A former Russian soldier ripping up his passport after fleeing the country. Now he is speaking out to CBC News. Next.
The Queen has passed after a remarkable 70-year reign. CBC News has the latest news as the world reacts to her death, with ongoing coverage from England, around the globe, and here at home. Stay with CBC News for live, ongoing coverage.
My nephew is having a blast with his new team. I'll have to tell him what I learned about his great-grandfather Philippe. Through Ancestry, I found that he played on 3 different teams and even landed a scholarship. Get to know your family story at ancestry.ca.
You know, this TD app makes things so easy. It's got access to your banking, trading, and rewards together.
Pretty sweet. You kids got it so easy. In my day, I had to bank on one app and trade on a completely different app. Know what I did for rewards?
I'm gonna guess the third app.
Third app. It was exhausting.
Isn't he like 7 months older than us?
We graduated together.
It's a whole new world of easy with the TD app.
This is an office.
Sorry, Gary.
TD, ready to help you move forward.
Canada's favorite coffee is always fresh and makes for the perfect coffee break. And pairing it with one of our delicious fresh-baked donuts makes it even better. Enjoy the favorites Canadians can't get enough of. Canada's favorite coffee and donuts. It's time for Tim's.
I go to the pictures quite a lot. It's the escape, I suppose.
About those tickets.
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 You can only go in if you have a ticket.
Let me in!
It's a marvelous film.
In a nutshell.
See how they run. Get tickets now.
A diaper this leak-free sets them free. Only Pampers Cruisers 360 have a 360 stretchy waistband for up to 100% leak-free fit on every wild child. Pampers Cruisers 360. Live wild and free.
Sorry, Mom. It's amazing what you can build on AWS. Imagine creating cool tech so you can watch every shot anywhere you want, or make news personalized, and learn about how to make my allowance go a long way, and watch your favorite team from the other side of the world. Just imagine what they could do when I'm in charge.
Whoa.
The 50th anniversary.
It was capitalism against communism.
They played well.
The series that changed the game forever. Summit 72, new documentary series, Wednesday at 8 on CBC. Stream free on CBC Gem.
When following the war in Ukraine, some focus on maps and battles won or lost, but at its heart, it's about death, often sudden and senseless. Susan Ormiston tracked down a report of one such tragedy. It took her to a tiny village and the family of a boy who was simply too close to the front lines at the wrong time.
Serhiy Hulevich shows us where his 8-year-old son ran from the shelling hiding in a garage. The shells pounded their home out of nowhere at 11:30 on a Saturday morning, smashing the roof in a shed, spraying shrapnel into a wall, slamming into the side of his home, and one hit landing right in the courtyard. His wife, he says, grabbed the other kids and ran inside, but the boy, startled, ran to the garage.
You found your son here?
Yes. Here I found him. He was on his belly, and his head was turned to one side. There was nothing left in his head. Shrapnel killed him. It took only a second. Details still so raw. He put his son on a chair to wait for the ambulance, but he was already cold.
This war is hard.
Hard. Hard. I wish it had taken me, not my kid.
I'm so sorry.
They live a simple life in an isolated village in southern Ukraine, now just kilometers from front lines.
Why do you think they shelled your home?
I don't know. The explosions were very powerful, she says. I was holding my kids with my hands against the walls, everyone very scared. And I thought, I can't see Sasha.
You like the cars?
Sasha was 8.5, going into grade 3, a middle child of their 5 kids. This was his kindergarten picture.
Do you want to get away from here?
Yes, I'm very scared.
What do you think about the people who did this to your son?
Bad. I don't know what I would do to them. They're animals. It's a short bike ride through their village to see Sasha now. One of the 1,000 children dead or injured in this war. They buried him 2 days later. Soldiers helped dig the grave. The shelling nearby hasn't stopped, and as soon as he can, Serhiy wants to take his family out of here before he loses them all.
So, Susan, with this family so, astonishingly close to the fighting, how'd you find them?
Well, we get casualty reports every day in Ukraine, but they're nameless and faceless. And so one caught our eye, a child dead in Mykolaiv region, which was where we were. We didn't have a village name. We didn't have a family name. So we just kept driving, as you know, asking people along the way, do you know this family? And we finally, traveling on battle-scarred roads, got to this one village, and we asked a boy on a bike, do you know a family who lost a child in an airstrike? And he said, I'll show you. Up the hill, turned left, into a house. It was his family. And the father came rushing out, desperate to tell us what the war had done to his family. And so now Sasha is named. He's one of 1,000 kids who've been killed or injured in this war, and it's still happening.
Remarkable. Poor family. Thank you very much. The struggles of the Russian military we showed you earlier come as no surprise to this Russian soldier who fought in Ukraine. Now, he fled Russia after posting a scathing critique of what he saw and went through. Briar Stewart sat down with him in France.
This was the moment Pavel Filyatov cut ties with Russia, tearing up his military ID and Russian passport, flushing them down a toilet in an airport bathroom in Paris. A few weeks later, this former paratrooper met with us to tell his story and share his disgust with the military he's risking everything to expose.
I kept thinking obsessively that literally, if I survived, I would do everything to stop it, to change something.
How do you cope with that, knowing that, there could be somebody out there looking for you?
I don't want to die, of course, but I'm not going to think about it every minute and not leave now and do what I want to do.
Filyatov was part of a military regiment that invaded Kherson, Ukraine in the early hours of February 24th. But even just a day before the equipment rolled in, he said soldiers were being misled about why they were there.
Our regiment commander made us line up and said, stop spreading gossip. Stop calling home talking nonsense. I'm telling you, there are 3 more days of training, and then you'll all be home.
He said he only realized Russia was attacking Ukraine after an order came down for his unit to destroy a bridge. In a manifesto he later posted to social media, he described the disarray on the battlefield, a Russian military equipped with patriotism instead of good training, support, and modern technology. He wrote some soldiers began to shoot themselves to get government money and get out of this hell. Filyatov posted his journal in August, 3.5 months after he was evacuated from the war zone because of an eye infection. The scathing remarks meant it was only a matter of time before he would be arrested, so he fled to France.
It's a new life for him, which has a good side because he will have a protection in France. But it's also a long road because it's not easy to change your life.
And certainly not easy to speak out against a military he was part of.
But I say this, Russia has now been captured by some kind of mafia.
For now, he's trying to claim asylum and settle into his new life, but hopes one day a change of regime could allow him to return to Russia.
Briar, what more do we know about how he actually fled Russia?
Well, Filyatov decided he had to leave Russia because he learned there was an indictment that was issued for his arrest and he was likely going to be charged with discrediting the armed forces, and that's charge that people had already been sent to prison over in Russia. So he contacted other Russian dissidents who had left Europe. They helped him with the logistics. He wouldn't disclose his exact route, but he did say at one point he ended up in Tunisia, where he was basically questioned by security services there for a number of hours. When he arrived in France, he was detained because he didn't have the proper visa, but he retained a lawyer and he's now applying for asylum.
Oh, incredible story. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Brett. Far from where we are tonight at Buckingham Palace and at the park right nearby, the flowers continue to pile high.
I love you, Queen Elizabeth, and we'll meet again.
The personal stories behind the tributes for a monarch. Next.
Powerful stories.
How long was that journey and how difficult was it?
Compelling interviews.
We're talking about Stalin-level repression.
The people at the heart of what's happening.
Help us understand this, and what do you think of this decision?
Join Janella Massa on Canada Tonight.
I could take amazing photos with this camera. I've always really wanted one. Should I get it? The cashback I've earned would be perfect for this. So why not?
Earn up to 4% cash back with the CIBC Dividend Visa Infinite Card. CIBC. Ambitions made real.
Be stronger than your excuses, because today, we are not afraid of growth. Great things take time. One more climb.
Peloton. Motivation that moves you.
$3.99. Then there's a time. Tim Burgers on $3.99.
Beautiful.
Throughout history, I've observed markets shaped by the intentional and unforeseeable. For investors who can navigate this landscape, leveraging gold, a strategic and sustainable asset, the path is gilded with the potential for rich returns.
Enjoy every last drop of summer with a delicious daily serving of vitamin C, B vitamins, and zinc with Emergency. Now introducing all new botanical flavors inspired by nature.
Hey, kiddo. Mom? Easy peasy.
Whoa.
Snap their attention with Giuseppe Easy Peasy by Dr. Edgar.
Want a new way to treat pain? Try new Salonpas cream. Salonpas numbs pain away with 2 clinically studied anesthetics that begin to work on contact with targeted relief and no scent. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
I'd be laughing too if I didn't have to pay such in taxes. Where we do our banking?
Doesn't have any financial advice for you?
Not much.
Talk to Sarah. She's my IG advisor. It's not just investments. She'll help you out with tax strategies, mortgages, even insurance.
You get all that from IG?
Mm-hmm. You definitely deserve more.
Oh, no. Wow.
Everyone deserves more. Everyone deserves a real financial plan. IG Wealth Management.
I'm Rick Mercer. Welcome to Comedy Night Canada's premier stand-up comedy showcase.
I come from a very diverse background. Dad's black. Mom was curious.
Pubes are the eyelashes of the vagina. I curl both. Okay.
This is the story of how me and my best friend accidentally built and lost one of the largest fake ID empires in North America and had everything raided by the feds. We were 18.
In Edinburgh, it is the middle of the night, and people are still filing into St. Giles's Cathedral to pay their final respects to Queen Elizabeth II. So as you have already seen, there are corners of this country bursting with color and fragrance. The flowers ubiquitous, tucked around trees, lined along curbs, and those bringing them, for a woman they largely never met, are carrying stories of someone they still felt they knew. So we followed along.
It's on this one and he's adamant he's not letting it sound.
Waiting, penned in for over an hour and getting flustered.
This is the crowd control for Brits on a monarch's mission. They are determined. And at a time when the price of everything hurts, money for flowers seems to flow.
We thought they were elegant as well. We thought they were elegant and right fit. We didn't want to do something super bright or anything for her.
She's held everything together through world wars, through the pandemic. I can't imagine anyone else being able to do that for us.
All moving in one direction, a fragrant path to a swath of the park adjacent to Buckingham Palace. Look at it now and know that every hour, 24 hours a day, this is growing. Overnight, flowers laid at the palace are moved here too.
It's like being in a perfume store here.
It is, isn't it? It's amazing. And also we noticed they cut all the plastic off before they do it, so they can just like leave them.
What did you choose?
I chose sunflowers. She was a sun and flower and a shiner for us. She's lovely. We're really going to miss her.
Are you surprised how emotional this makes you?
Yes. I just could not believe it. She was, and I just ran out with tears just falling down to say to my daughter, she's gone. She's gone. Queen is gone.
That's the disconnect. She was always just there. A sentiment on so many cards, some the handiwork of little ones. And so many Paddington bears the Royal Parks Authority has gently asked people to stop.
Rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. I love you, Queen Elizabeth, and we'll meet again.
We wanted purple and white because I think they're the Queen's favourite.
Can you tell me where you were when you found out that the Queen had died?
Well, I was just in my room and then I just heard my sister scream, the Queen's died, so I went downstairs. My mum was in the bath, so I went downstairs and my sister was on FaceTime with her friends.
That do you remember where you were when moment, a story kids might tell their whole lives, not just the kids.